Jovar in the Athletic. Colin kind of got it back together there in the fourth quarter against the Bucks, but he had a rough night. What can you talk about what they were doing to him specifically that night?
I don't think it was anything specifically. I just thought early he missed some shots, and started pressing a little bit from that point. I don't think it was pretty much what they were doing. A thing that he has to understand is, you're not always going to start, like shooting the ball well. Also, as I mentioned before, don't let missing shots affect the rest of your game. And I thought he did that last meeting against the Bucks. He's just one of those guys. He's just going to have to learn. That's just part of his whole learning curve, being able to, play through, when shots are not falling. Talk a lot about affecting the game in other areas. And, it's a long NBA season, and you're just not going to shoot the ball well every night. So hopefully, tonight he'll come out and play with some aggressiveness. He did a really good job attacking, and Milwaukee does a really good job in collapsing their defenses. And, you just have to make the right decisions out of that.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Larry, this is the second time you've played them in 5 days. If you go back to the first game and into tonight, what do you hope they learned from the first game that they can carry over into tonight?
Well, the one thing is we have to do a much, much better job of containing the basketball off the dribble. I just thought Milwaukee broke us down time and time again off the dribble. They've got guys that are really good at it, but it's just a one-on-one challenge we have to accept. We know with Giannis not playing last game, and we know, tonight it's going to be it's going to be a similar situation because he's just as good as some of those perimeters. His ability to go coast to coast, puts a lot more pressure on you. But we're just going to have to accept that challenge of playing the ball one-on-one, being able to contain the basketball and not getting blown by it.
Marla Ridenour, Akron Beacon Journal. Are you sticking with Channing, or do you know?
I'm sticking with Channing. Mm-hmm.
And you said the other night that you thought that took some pressure off of Larry. Is that kind of I think you said that.
Well, starting early, Larry gives up size against a guy like Lopez, and I don't want to start him with as far as, early banging with a guy that big, although he will be matched up against him. There's a chance he may see some action tonight as well. We're looking at certain matchups. We're trying to see if the pros outweigh the cons with some of these matchups. They may work, they may not work. We don't know. But right now, I'd be elected just to stay with Channing.
And Nwaba said this morning that his knee's not a lot better, but he thought he needed to get back. Do you admire what he's doing?
I do. I think anytime a guy goes through an injury and if he's not feeling 100%, but he feels he can play and he's willing to step in between those lines, I take my hat out to him because, he knows his body. He knows what he's capable of doing. He knows what he's able to do. And if he feels he can get out there and still play through any type of discomfort, I take my hat out to him.
Steve Herrick from AP. You mentioned Giannis. I don't know if there's an answer for this, but is there a way to try to slow him down a little bit?
There's not an answer to that.
Okay.
No, I mean, he's a terrific player. Let's give credit where credit is due. He's elevated his game, over the years. One thing we have to do is we have to get back and we have to show a wall, because I don't know if anybody in the league is better at getting it off the glass and bringing it out on the dribble, getting from one end of the floor to the other. So it's going to be important for us to have good defensive balance. And he's got to see a wall. He's got to see a sea of Cleveland jerseys when he's pushing the ball in transition. With that being said, we're going to have to make sure that we get out to to their 3-point shooters. So we have our hands full, and we understand that. But it's a challenge that I think this team is capable of overcoming. Giannis, he can hurt you in so many different ways. But again, he's going to score. He's going to do some things, and we just have to make it tough for him.